I'd now like to recognize the gentleman from Kansas, Dr. Marshall. The gentleman represents many agricultural producers whose livelihood are greatly threatened by this legislation.
Thank you so much to the gentleman for yielding. Mr. Speaker, I had a young family in my office this morning. A wonderful, nice-looking 11-year-old boy was in my office today with his dad and his mom and several other people from southwest Kansas. And he looked at me and said, Congressman Marshall, will I be able to run cattle when I get older? My great-grandfather ran cattle, my grandfather ran cattle, my daddy ran cattle, and I'd like to run cattle someday, but this Green New Deal scares me. And he said, would the Green New Deal keep him from running cattle? And I had to say, well, unfortunately, yes, it would. The Green New Deal would be the end of agriculture as we know it in Kansas. Agriculture makes up 40% of the economy of Kansas. So for all practical purposes, it would be the end of the Kansas economy. Another large part of our economy is oil and gas, and the Green New Deal would be the end of that. I always try to think about the impact of something like the new Green Deal. First of all, it would triple your taxes. I think that would be well proven. But I was always especially concerned for that young family, maybe that family that I delivered 5 or 10 or 15 years ago, and they have 2 or 3 kids at home. How would the new Green Deal impact them? Well, first of all, their grocery bill is going to double or triple, I would suppose. They have to replace all the appliances in their home. Their utility bill is going to go up. Then I think about the price of gas, and I always noticed in my obstetrical practice that whenever the price of gasoline got above $3 a gallon, that women would suddenly ask, do we have to come back this often? Quite a few of my patients live 60, 90 miles from me, and it was quite a challenge to come visit us. And when that price of gasoline got above $3 a gallon, they didn't want to come quite as often. And I can't help but think what the new Green Deal would do to the cost of gasoline, if there is such a thing. I suppose we'd all be driving electric cars. Now, where I'm from, I only wish that we could hop on a train and take public transportation, but there's just not enough trains to go around in Kansas. We're lucky to have roads from most places that we live, so public transportation just isn't an option. And all that being said, Mr. Speaker, I think, like the gentleman from Arizona, I want to leave this country. I want us to leave the state of Kansas cleaner than I found it. I'm so proud that Kansas waters, Kansas air are cleaner today than when I was growing up. I'm very proud of that, and I want to keep going in that direction. I'm very proud that the carbon imprint from the United States is less today than it was in 2004, and I want to keep going in that direction. But it's my belief that innovation is what's going to drive this and keep us going in that direction. I'm so proud of what the American entrepreneurs have done in Kansas and across this country, our ability to get more natural gas and to make all of our refineries cleaner, to make where we produce the utility, where we produce electricity, so many of them are 97% cleaner. The issues of ecology is a worldwide problem. It's a problem that the United States cannot cure by itself. We need to be a leader and keep going in the direction we're going. And I look forward to working with folks across the aisle to coming up with real solutions that will really work for this country. I think that the American innovator will do great things and that the better days are ahead for America. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I'll yield back to the gentleman. And again, thank you for leading this cause.